And yo, we are live. Yo, this is Set with Set Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, guys, we're about to get right into it because, of course, we're going to get into this Trump slush fund for lawfare abuse. Then we're also going to get into, well, this whole Thomas Massie election problem. Well, everybody's freaking out about it. People are starting to say that it's rigged. People are starting to say that, oh, why they dumping so much money into an election? And we're going to get into that again. But all right, guys, let's not forget to like the video. And we're going to go ahead and start off with our guy Trump here, because, you know, he is feeling the heat from the Iran war. Things haven't really been going his way. And trust me, every time he comes in front of the press, he gets grilled on it. And when he hits us with the same tired line of, well, Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Yes, a nuclear weapon that they wasn't going towards, nor that we have proof of them going towards. But hey, you'll just have to deal with the higher gas prices. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it.
Just watching, we have big news on Cuba, as you know, with the indictment of Castro. So they've a lot of people have suffered very big, very at levels that few people would understand. And I think the Cuban population of Miami, and certainly beyond Miami, people that came there that were decimated, whose families were ruined, appreciate what the Attorney General just did today and was just doing now. He's just watching it. So we have Cuba on our mind. Very important. It's been a lot of problem for a lot of years, and this was I think it was a very big moment for people that, not only Cuban Americans, but people that came from Cuba that want to go back.
I'm gonna be so real with you. I didn't hear about, like, honestly, we kind of picked this stuff up back with Cuba. Let's just not play dumb here. We low-key picked this back up with them. I don't even know what he means by, oh, this has been going on for years. Well, honestly, you kind of been pretty aggressive towards them with the blockade and all that good stuff and sending them into a fuel crisis. I mean, let's be real. If we're going to go ahead and get rid of that leadership, then let's do it already. Unless there's, you know, something on the ground going on that makes it, you know, not such a smart idea.
To Cuba, keep people that want to see their family in Cuba. I think this is a very big day, very important day. They supported me to the nth degree. They supported me at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And so I think it's a very important moment.
What happens, Mr. President?
Say it?
What's coming next for Cuba?
Well, we're going to see. It's a failing nation. You see that. It's falling apart. They have no oil. They have no money. It's a failing nation. So I just can't tell you that. But we're there to help. We're there to help the families, the people. And again, a lot of those people are related to me in the sense that I've had such a great relationship with Cuban Americans. They supported me at a 94% level. That's a pretty good level. And their relatives are there. So we got to, on a humanitarian basis, we're there to help.
Mr. President was there last week.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that at all?
Well, we have a lot of people there.
Oh, guys, make sure to like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by smashing that like button. Oh, yeah, and if you haven't noticed, we're going to be doing the horizontal stream from now on. It seems like, you know, the vertical stream has been destroying my channel somewhat. So to recover, we're just going to be doing horizontal lives for a little bit. So, you know, let's enjoy.
We had CIA there. We have Marco is there. Marco's parents, as you know, were from Cuba. So we have a lot of expertise in Cuba, and it's not going to be like the biggest thing we've ever done, but I will tell you, to a lot of people, it's going to be one of the most important. They've been looking for this moment.
Yo, shout out to my man Sid. He said, these criminals are taking anything that isn't nailed to the ground. Most corrupt administration in history of this country. You know what? I'm pretty sure there's been more corrupt, but bro, the blatancy though is like the blatant trading. The whole slush fund is a bit sketchy. I mean, yeah, there's a lot, bro. And then when you get into the pardons too, those are even questionable. But yeah, right now there is a lot of sketchy stuff going on. Like, I can't even lie. But let's see how this administration goes, you know, for the rest of the 3 years that he's remaining. I know, Sid, what you're hoping is that, no, I said he's going to get 25th Amendment, but I'm be real with you, bro. If they didn't do it to Biden, they're not about to do it to Trump. And we're just going to have to sit through it. It is what it is. I mean, you know me, I'm hoping for a change in course, even though the percentage of that is going down and down every day. But hey, all I can really tell you is we just got to buckle up and see where this lands us. And hopefully it doesn't land us as, you know, making Iran a world power. or a complete economic crisis. Hopefully don't land us there.
For 65 years, so we'll see what happens. But we're going to, in the meantime, we're going to have to help them out. They have no way of living.
Nah, that shit pissed me off too, bro. I ain't gonna lie. What was it? He let this what was it? It was a Jewish fraudster who got out, who was pretty much letting elderly women get abused, and somehow this guy catches a pardon. I was like, ain't no way. The only thing that dude should have been catching his hands, but he got a pardon.
They have no food, they have no electricity, they have no energy at all. But they do have great people. There are a lot of great people. I mean, I have so many Cuban friends in Miami, mostly in Miami and Florida, and they're unbelievable people. They're unbelievable entrepreneurs, and they'd like to go back. I think hopefully they're going to want to live here, but they want to go back. Maybe they'll invest. We'll see what happens. But we're freeing up Cuba.
Mr. President, how much longer do you anticipate the embargo having to be in place on Cuba?
We'll see. We'll be announcing it pretty soon.
On the table here, Mr. President. Should we expect any escalation here, or should they expect
with Cuba?
Yes.
Sid, if I could answer that honestly, bro, when I start hearing about that bunker, I start getting a little bit worried. I'm like, bro, are y'all about to just is y'all about to crash the economy and go into that bunker? Or does this have anything to do? I doubt it has anything to do with the announcement of aliens, but that's the more extreme hypothesis of, okay, these guys are going into bunker when the aliens get pissed off. But most likely, it's like, what do y'all need a bunker for? What, when the people turn against you because the economy is that bad and you still want to go to war with Iran? Like, no, you don't need a bunker. Just, you can have the ballroom, but not the bunker. And I'm barely want him to get the ballroom.
No, you won't. There won't be escalation. I don't think there needs to be. Look, the place is falling apart. It's a mess, and they've sort of lost control. They've really lost control of Cuba. I don't want to say that.
Mr. President, Gavin Newsom is on Capitol Hill today. He says that he doesn't think J.D. Vance has what it takes to come after you. What's your response to that?
Who said that?
Gavin Newsom.
He said doesn't have what?
He says that the era of Trump ends with you, and that J.D. Vance doesn't have what it takes to come after you.
I mean,
well, look, we've done a lot, and JD's very talented. He's a smart guy. He'll do very well if it's JD. We have a lot of very talented people. So I think hopefully we're going to leave something that's going to be real easy to run. We're doing a lot. And JD's a very talented guy.
I'm intimidated by to respond after you said yesterday you're about an hour away from making a decision. Where does that stand today? Have you heard anything from them?
It's right on the borderline, believe me. If we don't get the right answers, it goes very quickly. We're all ready to go. We have to get the right answers. It would have to be a complete 100% good answers. And if we do, we save a lot of time, energy, and lives, most importantly.
How long will you wait?
Could go very quickly.
I mean, look, bro, we're going on a hope and a prayer that the king of Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. We're hoping that these guys can convince the Iranians to water down their demands to make it more, acceptable to Trump, so they don't get caught up in the crossfires if this war pops off again. And we're hoping that they can get Iran to water it down. When I'm be real with you, not even bombs dropped on their heads got them to water their demands down. So what makes you think a pretty please from your favorite Islamic monarchist is going to do it?
Or a few days. It could be a few days, but it could go very quickly. Iran is a defeated nation. We're dealing with some people, and I must tell you, we're dealing with some very good people. We're dealing with people that are, I think, far more reasonable than the people that are really no longer with us. We're dealing with some people with talent, with good brain power, and we're pretty impressed by it. So hopefully those people will make a deal that's going to be great for everybody.
Are you getting tired of the
But
back and
I
forth?
don't know. Do I get what? I never get tired. But what I like to do, if I can save war by waiting a couple of days, if I can save people being killed by waiting a couple of days, I think it's a great thing to do.
What's your message to him? Like my first year at Home and his last year off, being such a
I'll have a message at a later date. Okay.
Sir, on Iran, did the U.S. offer Iran oil sanctions relief during these talks, as Iranian TV has reported?
No, I haven't heard that. I'm not doing any relief until they sign an agreement. When they sign an agreement, we can get that place built up again and have something that's really a good country for the people. But no, we haven't offered anything.
What's the message to American families who are scared by the rise of AI? They're worried that their kids are not going to be able to have jobs someday because AI will
I'll tell you, AI has been amazing because right now we have more jobs, more people working right now in the United States by far than we ever had before. And outside of the war, and I assumed the economy was going to go down, the stock market would go down 20, 25%. It's actually up. The stock market is higher now than it was before I started.
And I promise you, that line pisses people off so much. Like every time he says that, it pisses me off because it's just like, dog, just because the stock market is doing good, just because millionaires and billionaires are turning over a profit, that really doesn't mean, or that really doesn't help the affordability problem that Americans face every day. And here the thing is, it got exacerbated through the rising gas prices, and of course, there's going to be rising energy prices, food prices, and of course, inflation ticked up to 3.8%. Yeah, but don't worry, guys. The Dow is 50,000, right? You know, as your price, as you're paying like 500 at the gas pump. Well, hopefully nobody's doing that unless you're driving an 18-wheeler, but you know what I'm talking about.
The Iran situation, and on the Iran, I had no choice because they were going to have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to give them a nuclear weapon, but that's going to end soon, one way or the other. Oil is going to come tumbling down. There's so much oil. We have 1,600 ships in the Strait that are loaded up with oil that are going to be coming out very soon. So we'll have to see. But the military has been unbelievable. The blockade has been infallible. Not one ship has gotten through the blockade. 37 have tried. They all wish they didn't.
Can you tell us about your call with Erdogan?
Yeah, I had a very good call with President Erdogan, and pretty standard. We have a very good relationship. Isn't it nice to have relationships with some very tough people? He's a tough guy, and but I have a relationship.
Bro, like, no, I already know. Trust me, I already know. And guess what, bro? That's about to probably be the last financial information you ever get out of Trump. So, because what was it? He got the IRS to seal his tax records. Which, of course, you don't want nobody, going to like dropping your tax returns. But it's kind of like he's saying that the IRS, not the CIA, but the IRS cannot pretty much investigate this man at all, cannot look into his tax return whatsoever. And I'm just like, bro, you know how much financial crimes this man could low-key get away with at this point?
With him that nobody else does. He's actually done a good job. He's been, I think very much of an ally. Some people would doubt that, but I think he's been a great ally, and his people respect him. His people respect him a lot.
So, President, response to any people that are critical of your settlement over your IRS case about the tax now that you can't be prosecuted for tax?
Yeah, well, what happened is I was suing IRS for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons is they released.
Oh, no, correction. Shout out to Sid, though. It was his kids, his children, and his businesses can never receive a complete audit or be investigated by the IRS. I was like, oh, my goodness. Yo. I'm like, did he just give himself, like, I don't know, like a roundabout, a pardon? Like, basically financial immunity. Shout out to corruption, guys. You got to love it. Because I'm not even going to lie. I was a little bit impressed. I was like, how do he pull this off? Like, what?
My tax returns, which they're not allowed to do. Now, they showed I pay a lot of tax. I may even release my current returns because they show I pay a lot of money. But they're not supposed to do that. They were in lockboxes as president. And they released them, and a certain firm released them, which was, I guess, a private firm, but it released them to a lot of the fake news, and the fake news went, and you're just not allowed to do that, and many other things.
Oh, bro, look, we understand your tax returns got leaked, and like, yeah, that's wrong, But what does that have to do with you getting immunity from the IRS? From being investigated? Like, what does that have to do with it? I'm sorry, but that makes no sense. But going through, I guess, an identity fraud crisis is not really, I'm be real, it's not really a good way to sell. Oh yeah, but because somebody dropped my tax returns, I now get immunity from the IRS. I'm like, bro, what? Like, all right, okay. I wonder if this is actually going to be upheld, because this is crazy.
Happened. So I released them from the lawsuit, and I guess they made a settlement of some kind. I wasn't involved in the settlement. I could have been involved, but I didn't choose to be. So they made a settlement. Also, the anti-weaponization of people. I mean, people were destroyed. They went to jail. Their families were ruined. They committed suicide. You know, all the...
Oh, guys, don't worry. We're going to get into this huge debate about this whole slush fund. And here's a problem. Everybody was going like, all right, yeah, well, what gravity of offenses it got to be? Who's eligible and all this good stuff? Can you get in on it? Can your children get in on it? Yeah, that's what a lot of people are concerned about.
Biden administration and the Obama administration, both of them. I mean, the Obama administration started it. The Biden administration was horrible in terms of what they've done to people is incredible. And we're reimbursing those people for their legal fees and for their costs and for anybody involved. But they destroyed people. People committing, I read the other day, a person committed suicide over it. They went, you know, it was the most violent thing.
Here's the thing. If you talk about like January 6ers and all that good stuff, there were some people like that were really done wrong. But I'll even admit that a lot of them did low-key deserve those charges. But there were some that definitely, well, the prosecution did them dirty. And they do deserve to be compensated. And some did sadly take their lives due to the pressure. But hey, we're just wondering, for those like cases, I'm okay with it. I can accept that. But if you're telling me that you're about to get in on this, I mean, like, come on, bro. And I don't know, what about those that you pardon? What, the guys who actually got convicted of fraud, or like that Jewish guy who's letting old ladies like rot in their bed? Can he get in on that as well? Because I'm not going to like that.
I've ever seen in politics what they did. And yet if I say, oh, let's look at this one or that one, they say weaponization. What they did in terms of weaponization will never be allowed to happen in this country again.
Oh, guys, make sure to smash that like button, guys. Let's get more people in on the conversation by smashing that like button. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's keep it going. We got like, what, 11 of y'all in here, man. Let's try to get to at least 7 likes. Come on now. But all right.
So we think that those people, we think that anybody involved in that process should partake. And you're talking about peanuts compared to the value. It destroyed the lives of many, many people. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right. Well, since he left off on the whole IRS thing, let's get into that. Let's get into that right now. Because I said I thought I was going to get into Iran a little bit, but let's start differently. We're going to get into Iran at the end.
Turns out there was more to that settlement between President Trump and the IRS. The Justice Department is now forever barred from auditing Trump. The addendum, which was quietly added Tuesday, says that the government cannot examine tax returns of the president, his family, his company, or related companies. It applies to anything filed before the agreement was reached, which was on Monday.
Democrats and Republicans are skeptical.
I'm sorry, but it's kind of funny, though, because even, like I said, even I laugh when I just read it out loud. Like, are you serious? Like, bro, what? How in God's name do you get that off? Like, what in the corruption? But yeah, the IRS cannot audit President Trump, his family, his company, relative companies. Oh, all right, come on now. That's going too far. It's like that. You can't even go after companies that's connected to my company. You can't even go after parent companies. Even the shady LLCs that I'll set up to do shady work. It's like, oh, wow. All right. I got to give it to him. He cashing in. He's cashing in.
Anything filed before the agreement was reached, which was on Monday.
Democrats and Republicans are skeptical about a lot of this, worried that the funds could even go to pay violent January 6th rioters. Here is what Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell just told John last hour.
How do I feel about that? I think this is one of the most outrageous, unethical things I have yet to see this administration do. And all indications are that they clearly are targeting. Some of the January 6 people that have been convicted are talking about taking this money and using it to compensate people that were then victims of other crimes that they did. And this deal that he's cutting for immunity is absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. We've never seen anything like this in the history of the United States.
CNN's Elena Train.
It's almost like he knows bro. It's like, I'm sorry, but do you know how shady this looks? It's pretty much like what Biden did with the blanket pardons for, the January 6th committee and his son. It's like, well, bro, what you hiding? You just gave yourself pretty much immunity from IRS investigation into your companies and yourself and your children. What you hiding? Nobody was even thinking about that. Now, we were probably later, but not now.
Tracking this one. She's joining us now with much more on this. What are you hearing from the White House about this one?
Wow.
Yeah, look, there's obviously a lot of scrutiny, Kate, that is being paid to this new settlement that they have worked on. And I do want to focus on what you just brought up about this new addendum that we saw posted to the Justice Department website yesterday, essentially saying that in this settlement, the IRS cannot go after the president, his family members, or their businesses, again, for past potentially, it's backwards looking for past violations or anything like that, at least for now. I'd remind you, though, that, of course, the president can always file some sort of blanket pardon when he leaves office to protect him from any future consequences. Now, I do want to say we knew from our reporting last week, Kate.
Shoot, why waste a pardon? He already gave it to himself. Like President Trump, his family and businesses protected from IRS claims on past tax issues. On the past? Yeah, bro. Like, that's basically the same thing Biden did. But all right, federal government forever barred, forever barred. Like, bro, there's no time limit on it. Forever barred at the perpetuity. What? Does his grandkids and his descendants get the pardon too? All right. This is crazy. This is crazy as hell. But all right, let's keep it going.
That this was something that the president's attorneys at the Justice Department, the lawyers at the IRS and others were looking at, including lawyers here at the White House. And they were discussing this potential move to protect the president and members of his family. So we knew that this was something that they were considering. But of course, this raises even more questions because there was a lot of people in the Trump administration and specifically Trump administration's lawyers that are overseeing this personally. A lot of these people were the president's personal former attorneys. That includes Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who had previously worked to represent the president. Now, people are asking.
Oh, no, Sid, trust me. I share your frustration, but I've just been looking at so much lately. I just had to learn to laugh at a certain point. I'm just like, you know what? I could be pissed. I could be yelling at the mic right now, talking about this crazy bastard, wah. But I'm just like, you know what? It's almost funny. It's like, it's so much that it's just funny. It's like, yo, it's right in our face. So you pretty much bought an election for $38 million. Like, you allowed Muriel Nadelson and AIPAC to do that right in front of our faces. So, I mean, shout out to, what was it, going against the donors? Well, you them pretty much embrace the donors at this point. Complete IRS immunity for audits and all that good stuff. I'm just like, oh yeah, and he's been making a pretty good amount of money on his side deals in businesses and all that good and all that crazy stuff, which is, that I can't really be that mad about. But while the American people's low-key going through it, the fact that we can all see you cashing in is a bit wild. It's a bit wild. That's not even TDS.
$10 billion lawsuit against your own government and have your own personal attorneys look at this.
Let's talk about this. Joining us right now is Democratic Congressman Jake Auchincloss of Massachusetts. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Let's talk on this DOJ fund. You heard what Congresswoman Debbie Dingell thinks about it. What is your reaction to it overall? And now this addendum, I guess, if you will, that we're hearing about, which is that it's barring the IRS forever from bringing claims against the president for past tax issues.
That's what happens when you make your personal attorney the Attorney General of the United States. Corruption's the name of the game for the Trump administration. His Crypto coin raised millions from Chinese billionaires. His son-in-law's private equity firm is raising millions from Middle Eastern billionaires. And now the president is seeking to raise millions directly from the United States taxpayer. And that matters to Americans. One, because the blatant corruption undermines respect for the rule of law. It makes criminals like those January 6 rioters think they can get away with it and continue to do harm, as they are currently out in American cities and streets. And two, because the money matters. I mean, the Environmental Protection Administration just cut a couple $2 billion from clean water funds meant to take PFAS, forever chemicals, out of municipal water utilities. That $1.8 billion, that could be funding clean water for schools and for cities. But right now it's funding Donald Trump's vengeance campaign.
My panel is back with me. So that is the problem, though. There's no limitations. There's no exclusions, as we know, et cetera. There is the concern about who might be eligible.
It was the forever part that just threw me. Next, you're going to say, yes, and it's allowed to continue down his bloodline. Yes, he has bloodline immunity. Oh, wow. And then next you can say, oh, well, you got to understand he's the chosen president. I'm like, okay, now y'all really pushing it. But I guarantee you, we're going to, hopefully we don't hear that, but I ain't gonna lie. I be on X and I be hearing some people say the most glazing comments you'll ever see on Trump. Most glazing comments. So I done seen it all, guys. But you know what? Do I want to still keep up with this one? Because I ain't gonna lie. This is insane. I think we know enough by now.
And therefore could actually collect tax-funded money through a slush fund. This seems to me such a political misstep, given that it would not only include people who are January 6th rioters, but also include people who are like Letitia James or James Comey, who would say, I've been wrong. Do I get paid? Why do this?
Maybe Hunter Biden, too.
I mean, you know what? If both parties can use it, then we can't really be upset at it. If it's something that both parties can use and it's not just talking about, oh, well, we're only doing this for all the conservatives that were wronged by the government, well, then sorry. I mean, then yeah, that'd be pretty unfair. But since both sides can use it, I can't be that upset.
Look, I don't know. First of all, I think you got to have some preclusions here. You cannot allow people who attack law enforcement to access these funds. I think most Republicans would probably agree.
But he didn't say that. Why
not? The Attorney General didn't say that. I think his response was he's going to nominate 5 people, and then they will determine the rules and structures by which people can request these funds. But that said, though,
completely invented. This is.
I wasn't done in a minute. But that said, though, and I'll be quick here, so my friend can jump in just really quickly. From a conservative perspective, this sounds a lot like a reparation. And traditionally, conservatives aren't in support of utilizing taxpayer dollars to just give to people. Now, there is a grievance process by which they could sue the federal government if they wanted to for a redress of said grievances. But to utilize taxpayer dollars for, again, effectively a reparation, I'm just not in support of that at all.
Then why you say?
I don't know. You can kind of say damn near like a class action lawsuit, because he set a fund aside, AKA, I mean, you only so much people can get some money. It's not like an unlimited fund that we're just supporting. So it's almost like a class action lawsuit at this point.
It's totally.
Go ahead, Lulu.
Okay.
No, but like, I know we all have the memory of goldfish in this moment, but let us recall that this was a secret, because basically it was exposed by my paper, the New York Times.
But all right, though, let's go ahead and get into the next story right here with a little bit more of this whole, what was it? I think they're going to go into a little bit further detail on who is this 1.7, I'm going to say $1.8 billion fund really for.
This is so bad. It is so bad. It's so bad prima facie. It's just bad on its face. But then when you